Let's go and test it out and see if he falls. Oh no. Yeah, it's like, I don't get it. I don't, like, even when trying to use the hinge to push it down, it just pops off. Hey, what's happening? YouTubers are back with a brand new action figure review, and today we're going to take a look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Darkseid Mega Figure. Now, is this going to be figure of the year for me? I don't know, we'll see, because I've been hearing a lot of stories and a lot of photos of this thing being combustible and the arms popping off, but we'll find out. But like we always do the reviews, let's start with the box art first. So it's nothing different than we've seen before from Mega Figure boxes, and you can see it's a classic Darkseid. Classic. Remember when people used to say McFarlane won't do classic characters? Well, here it is, a classic Darkseid. Alright, there's the image artwork and whatever. Let's go ahead and get Darkseid out of the box. Alright, here's Darkseid out of the box. Let's take a look at accessories first. So he comes with the base plate that you see with all McFarlane Toys figures. Darkseid comes with two sets of hands. So the first one we'll take a look at a pair of fisted hands, and the second set of hands he has is like a gripping hand on the right, and then on the left is a pointing hand. And just like all DC Multiverse figures from McFarlane Toys, he comes with a data file card. So there you see the image artwork of Darkseid, and I believe this figure is going to be based off of his like superpowers look. But there's the image artwork, and on the back is the data file. Feel free to pause it if you want to go ahead and read it. In addition to two sets of hands, he also has two sets of heads, or additional head sculpt, I guess. But the first one we'll take a look at is like the one with his Omega I-beam effects, which look really awesome. I love the sculpt of the expression on his face and this effect piece. It doesn't come off, unfortunately, but it does look really nice. Then we'll take a look at the other head sculpt. I actually like this one better, just because even though this one has that, you know, beam effect and the angry expression, this other expression is also pretty menacing. But I also like the paint work done to the eyes, like the shading and the sculpt work done on his face. Like, this looks fantastic in my opinion. We'll take a look at the rest of the figure. Like I mentioned, this is based off of like the Superpowers toy that came out back in the day. So it's not exactly the true, like the true classic Jack Kirby Darkseid, but he still has that essence and aesthetics of a classic Darkseid. And the one thing I really like about this is the wired soft goods cape. However, I will mention one thing though. It does have wiring on the bottom, which is great in theory, because typically you see like the import companies have wiring on the bottom of the cape, which helps with the posing. But I remember my homie DC Multiverse Collector did a review, mentioned that it is a little bit tougher to pose with the wiring on the bottom. Normally, I would disagree, but I do agree with them. It's something that you guys have to have in hand, but I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it just doesn't want to, like, when trying to pose the cape around, especially the wiring at the bottom, it's not, unless I'm doing something wrong here, but it's not as easy as it is with the import companies that have the two wire system on the capes. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't want to hold in place, even when trying to. Yeah, it just always juts out, unless, could be a complete novice. You guys let me know in the comments below, but just something about it just does not want to stay flush. So I have to find different angles to pose the cape so it just kind of stays neutral like that, like folding it on the back piece here with the wire that kind of keep it something similar like that, just so it can stay behind them where it's not just jutting out or fluffed out like that. But yeah, it's still nice to see wiring on the capes. Alright, now that I've talked about the positives, let's address a couple things here. Now, I had been hearing that the arms are combustible, they pop out easily. And sure enough, when I was switching the hands out earlier, when I was recording, the arm popped off immediately with no resistance. Like, if I just move it up just like that, it just pops off. And that's not just one arm, it's both arms that'll just kind of just, like when trying to pose it around, just pops off like that. It's just super loose, like when trying to just move the figure around, like it just easily pops off. And it's kind of weird because these are reusing the same arms as the Mongol Mega Figure, and when comparing that side by side, like, let's keep him with his arm, Mongol didn't have that issue. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Why is Mongol, like, check this out. He doesn't, that looked weird, but nothing about it. Forcing it, there's nothing happening there. Let's go and test it out and see if he falls. Oh no. Yeah, it's like, I don't get it. I don't, like, even when trying to use the hinge to push it down, it just pops off. So they didn't really give him much resistance inside that peg hole. Like, I mean, the other theory is that this might have, like, this was originally supposed to be, or it's probably a base body for a collect-to-build figure in the future, but man, it's just kind of unfortunate that that happens a lot. Another thing I'm noticing about this is the hinge on the foot is so weak at the front, so every time I stand it up, he keeps falling over, so you have to make sure, let's go ahead and angle it down, it's like flushed, like flat on the ground, so he doesn't tip over, or else, see, it's just weak joints at the hinge going forward, unfortunately. So you're gonna take a couple of balancing acts to keep him steady so he doesn't fall over, which is unfortunate just because he's a megafig, so it's a lot of plastic, but yeah, that's the unfortunate part about this. Other ranges of articulation, the trunks or diaper pieces hindered a lot, so you're not really going to get Darkseid to sit at all, just because that's as far as his leg goes. I wonder, yeah, that's about it, because then you're really pushing it right there with that rubber diaper slash trunks piece right there. So that's, man, there's a lot going on with this that is really disappointing, and also, like, I need another Darkseid because I don't know if it's just mine, but I do notice that is a common trend with a lot of these figures. I'm wondering if it's a QC issue or if it's just certain figures having this issue, or all of them, but let me know in the comments below if your Darkseid's arms are popping off. Alright, now so we can jump right into size comparisons. And first size comparison, here's Darkseid standing next to another mega figure, Mongol on the left, and on the right, the collect-to-build Dark Father figure. The next size comparison here, he's standing next to a couple Superman figures in the D2 Multiverse line. On the left, we have the Collector Edition Chad Superman, and on the right, we have the Action Comics 1000 Superman. The next size comparison here is next to some more DC Trinity characters in the DC Multiverse line. We have the Collector Edition Wonder Woman on the left, and the Nightfall Batman on the right. And next size comparison, here's Darkseid standing next to some Marvel Legends characters that I think he kind of goes well with in terms of the aesthetics. We have the Deluxe Apocalypse Retro card on the left and the Deluxe Thanos on the right. And yeah, this picture would go pretty hard if I did a photo of all three of these guys, or maybe just Thanos and Darkseid. But who do you think wins in a fight, y'all? Darkseid, Thanos, or Apocalypse? And last size comparison, here he is standing next to the soon-to-be obsolete Collector Edition card stand. Clearly, weak hinges. Still weak hinges. Alright, some overall thoughts on the figure. I expected better. I'm going to be transparent with y'all. I'm a little bit disappointed with this figure. Well, I guess a lot, because I was really anticipating this and looking forward to this. Don't believe me? Go check out the highlights from the past DC Multiverse Society podcast we've done.
Oh, damn. I went ham. I got 2 in these.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm stoked for finally a proper comic Darkseid. Oh, Darkseid's going to be on my list. He's definitely going to be up there.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling he's going to be high up on the list.
I had high expectations for this figure, and the experience with the arms popping off, you know, it's a little bit disappointing. And to be honest with you, when I was switching the hands out too, the hinge was kind of bending because the plastic was really hard, like trying to swap it out. And the funny thing about the arms is, I don't know, I might be dating myself here, but you guys ever watch Jingle All the Way, and Arnold buys the bootleg Turbo Man and it just falls apart when he takes it out of the box? That's what it kind of feels like when these Darkseid arms fall off. It's kind of frustrating. But other than that, like, it does have great shelf presence, great sculpt. The head sculpt's fantastic on both of them, actually. And it has the nice wired soft goods cape. It does have good shelf presence, like I mentioned. You can get it in a couple good poses. But apart from that, I kind of wish it was a little bit better. But also the other thing is the hinges on the feet on mine are a little weak. I don't know if it's just mine or if y'all are having the issue as well. So he tends to fall over easily, which kind of sucks because he's a mega figure. So he's going to be a little bit, it's a lot of plastic. It's a little bit more. But I still think it's a solid figure. But let me know what you think in the comments below. YouTubers, sound off, and like always, you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.